Hey guys, it's Valkrin. Today I want to talk to you about Rengar Jungle and why I think it's really good right now. And the main concept of Rengar Jungle is the fact that you are a carry jungler. If you take kills early, it's not the end of the world. You will scale very well. You can go Glass Cannon, clear the jungle very quickly. The only jungle item you really need to invest into is the machete. After that, you can go Tiamat. So I jump on blue immediately. I smite it right away because I have the mindset that we have vision control. We know that they're not coming in to invade or anything like that. And you smite your first buff because it really helps you clear the jungle quickly. And as you can see, I'm doing my full clear this game. I start Golem, I go to the big Wraith, and by the time your smite's back up, you'll be doing your wolves. You smite your wolves again, and you go to Wraiths, and then from there your smite will be back up, and you'll be able to do your red buff very quickly. My entire clear will be under 4 minutes. I'll be level 4 by about 350, 340, in between that time frame, depending on how good of a leash I get, slash any interference from the enemy junglers and stuff like that. So I smite the wolf right away, doing very well so far, not too much hindering me. The weakness of this full clear is that the enemy jungler can go from one of their buffs to your buff and stop you from doing this because you're doing a lot of small camps in between your red and your blue, or your blue and your red. And I'm jumping to my Wraith right here. I use my Ferocity stacks on my Q, and that's especially important as Rengar jungle because if you're using it on your W to heal, then you won't be clearing nearly as fast, and the minions will the monsters will actually do more damage than your heal will be worth. So it's much better to use your 5 Ferocity stacks in the jungle on your Qs. And by level 3, I have one of each of my abilities. 5 Ferocity stack on my Q there. Waiting to smite, land it in between auto attacks. Smite, auto attack, clear it very quickly. Going to double golems now. And by the time you finish double golems, you can run back down to your wraiths, wait about 5 to 7 seconds, and your wraiths will be back up. Then you can go from wraiths to wolves to your big wraith. But what's going to happen is most of the time you have to counter gank at this point. If you choose to do a full clear, you're going to be level 4 by 4 minutes. But by this point, the enemy jungler is probably getting in a position to gank a lane. And it's very important, and as you can see here, the Olaf does just that. He has gotten in a position to gank bottom. Our Jinx gets exhausted. She uses her barrier. They're able to get out of this gank without using flash, which is very important. I'm coming down here. I'm still running down. I use my abilities on the wolf camp to get 5 ferocity stacks. And I run down here, and I ignore my other camps just to get down here in time. And I see there's a huge wave pushing from our minions to their tower. So I see the opportunity to do a lane gank as Rengar. And this is pretty much the best thing you can do other than having your ultimate as Rengar, is you lane gank. You use your bushes as a gap closer. And there's no other real way to deal with that. Because as jungle Rengar, you can't just run through a lane and get a gank off. You need to use either your ultimate or the bushes as a gap closer to secure the gap between you and your target. And I wait a long time down here, and I would normally suggest not waiting this long for a gank, but I know for a fact that Olaf will either be back here or I can dive and make a play happen. And what happens is, if you've got a huge creep wave like this and it stacks up this quickly, oftentimes it's going to die very quickly because they're going to AoE it down, and that's exactly what they do. And the next creep wave is pushed out a little bit further. I have 5 ferocity stacks. Tarek's going to get very close to the bush. We jump on Tarek. I chunk him down with my Q, and we land the kill on him very quickly. So Tarek is down. Now you have 2 choices. You can either help clear the wave and back off, or help clear the wave and dive the Varus. Varus is very low, so I make the objective of actually diving the Varus. I land my 5 Ferocity stack on my E, my Bolas, and I was tanking tower, so I flash out. Thresh is kind of left out to dry. He gets killed by the Olaf. This is very risky. Very good counter gank by the Olaf. If Olaf wasn't there, then it would be a very clean gank from us. Olaf is chasing me. You could recall here, but I would suggest not doing that. I run all the way back because the chance of Olaf continuing the chase is too high. And because he was just chasing in a straight line and didn't have Ghost up, there's no way he can reach me in time because he took the time to stop and kill Thresh. So I walk all the way back to my second tower. Our Jinx lived because Olaf chased me. And we were able to come out on top on that. I got 1 kill and Jinx got 1 kill. And overall, their bottom lane got really far behind. They missed out on an entire creep wave, a creep wave and a half, maybe even 2 creep waves, depending on how hard Olaf taxes the lane. Our Karma got first blooded this game, but she managed to come back and kill the Vladimir, so that lane is equalized. I can't really gank mid as Rengar unless there's a definitive advantage. At the same time, Vladimir has pool, so it's very difficult for me to gank it unless Vladimir gets closest close to the bushes on the side. So what I do here is you make a note of the timer. It's about 6:40 or so, and about 7:10, depending on how quickly you finish your first buff. It's usually around 7:10. Your second buffs will start spawning. And so I make a note of that. I know I have a little bit of time to do wolves and then wraiths. I ask Karma if she wants blue. She doesn't want blue, so I end up taking blue. And the reason why I take blue is not entirely because I'm being selfish, but because Karma didn't want blue this game for whatever reason, and also it helps me out because I get full XP from this. As you can note, I'm not very close to level 6 right now, but you get a lot of XP from your second buff, and it's very important for you to get as much XP as you can from it, because now I'm level 6. I would normally not be this close to 6 if I didn't get that full XP. So I'm coming bottom with my ultimate, and right here, when you have your ultimate on Rengar, it should be a free kill. And they had a ward in that bush, so I popped my ultimate right away. And I want to get on Varus, but he's too far away, so I opt to jump on the Terror. Land my 5 ferocity stack on the snare. He's snared, and actually I used it on my Q. The snare came from Jinx, and Thresh gets incredibly low. I opt to back up because we see pings back from the Karma. Jinx is still down here. We see Vladimir ghosting in here, or I don't know if he used Ghost. I just saw him come in very quickly. He didn't use Ghost. So I come back down because I see Jinx has survived for a long time. Vladimir didn't ult or ignite or whatever. Jinx is living for a long time. She is making it back. She barriers. So I sit in the bush. I wait for Vladimir to get close, and then I gap close from my passive, and I kill the Vladimir after Vladimir flashes to kill our Jinx. Varus is then pinned in here. I get another free kill. And the reason why I didn't get the Karma there was because, for one thing, it'd be better to get an assist for the kill rather than just give the solo kill to Karma. But also because as jungle Rengar, if you get kills, it's not it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing, because the further ahead you get, the stronger your ganks are going to become, and you're basically going to become a carry into the late game. You build Tiamat as quickly as possible, and I start building towards Ravenous Hydra. Ravenous Hydra, excellent item on Rengar jungle, because not only can you clear the jungle incredibly fast, but you can go to a lane and clear it almost instantaneously with your Qs, your W, and your Ravenous Hydra proc. Going back in for my red, if you notice, there was a huge opportunity for the enemy jungler to have taken my red, because I went from my second blue to ganking bottom, but my red is left untouched because the Olaf was, I'm not sure what the Olaf was doing. I think he ended up coming bottom just after the whole fiasco came. Olaf is mid right now, and I make the choice to actually not help Karma because I looked at the situation, and if I had gone in there, my ultimate wasn't up. So for one thing, if I had gone in there, I had no escape because I had no flash, and at the same time, I had just gotten red, or rather, if I had peeled off red, then I wouldn't have had a red, but I probably would have died. Even if I had managed to get one kill there, it would not have been worth it. Trading 2 for 1 is just not as good as just being able to have another person escape and giving up one kill. Because when you die as a jungler, it is a big deal. You aren't on the map to do anything while you're dead. And because I'm still alive, and they backed mid, their Olaf and their Vladimir, I get a free dragon out of this. And if I had stayed to fight, I probably wouldn't be healthy enough to get this, / I would have been dead. So we pressure this. Olaf runs in over here. When you see the enemy jungler get this close, you don't finish dragon, you just turn and kill their jungler. And we pin him in with Karma from the side, and I use the bushes to gap close. We snare, we kill their jungler. Now their jungler is dead. We don't have to worry about their smite. So I come back down here. We see Vladimir is still mid, so at most, Varus and Tarek are the only ones that can contest this. So what I do here is I use my 5 ferocity stack on heal, and I save my smite to guarantee that it hits. Now you don't want to be fancy here. You don't want to do anything where you time your Q and your smite at the same time to try and get it at a higher HP pool. You want to just make sure that your smite will guarantee the kill, because at the very, their smiter's dead. The worst thing that can happen is you miss your smite and like Var steals it with his Q or something like that. So you want to guarantee that your smite gets it. I don't recall right away. With Rengar, if you have a Vamp Scepter or anything like that, you've got really high sustain in the jungle. So I'm just going from a few camps here and there, and my ultimate is up, so I'm possibly looking to make a kill happen bottom. But I see them recall, so I'm like, okay, I was going to do this and then go bottom, and I see mid pushed in really hard, so I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to stay around mid and see what happens. Now, Rengar ultimate is has a very long cooldown, so you want to make sure it yields a kill every single time you use it. You don't want to use it to escape it unless you have to. So here, I pop my ultimate and I go in, and we make two mistakes here. For one, Karma telegraphs the gank. She gets too close and reveals that we're making the gank happen. Another is Karma ends up staying too close. Karma ran back in and got close and then got snared by the Olaf, and I'm too low to help her because I would die too if I tried to help her. So the two mistakes there were we telegraphed the gank. I think Karma should have waited a little bit longer to start running towards the Vladimir, let me get a little bit closer because I'm invisible. Vladimir could not see me. I can't hold mid because I'm too low. Olaf could possibly dive me. I'm very squishy. Olaf is full HP, so I can't hold that. So I opt to go heal off of the side wolves. Going back to the second mistake that Karma made, after we for sure couldn't kill Vladimir, my bullets just barely left Vladimir on low HP. When we saw the Olaf, we should have immediately run. Karma backtracked for a second to try and land her Q on Vladimir and realized that she was out of range, and by that time it was too late. Olaf had already closed the distance and was in range to use his undertow. Slowed Karma, ran up to her, killed her. So this second blue, I believe I'm going to give it to Karma, or this is the third blue. I'm going to give the third blue to Karma. I wanted to give the second blue to Karma, but she didn't want it, so I gave her the third blue. Now the second blue, because I took the solo XP, it allowed me to hit 6 very quickly. Here, I don't have my ultimate because I just used it mid, very long cooldown. I'm going to lane gank bottom. And I'm not ganking top because Teemo, unless I have my ultimate, I really can't gank Teemo. Teemo will just kite me. I walk into the bushes, there are mostly going to be shrooms in there. It's very difficult to gank champions like Teemo or Nidalee because they'll have stuff thrown in the bushes. It's very difficult to just deal with that as Rengar because you need to use the bushes to your advantage, and something like a Teemo is going to, put a bunch of mushrooms in there. So I run bottom. I don't know if this is warded or not. I don't want to leave the bushes because if I leave the bushes, that's my advantage. That's my gap closer. I don't have my ultimate yet. I'm waiting down here for my ultimate. It's about 20 seconds. I'm mostly waiting down here for to see if anything happens. Thresh initiates the fight. I'm kind of hoping to run to me. I'm like, hey, come to me. I don't want to run over here directly because they'll see me. So I finally see the all-in happen, and I run over here, and I start pushing the wave. So I finally get here, and I'm going to help them push. And Rengar is one of the fastest junglers in the game for killing towers, slash anything at all. Like Rengar, regardless of what position he's in, he kills towers very quickly with how his Q works. His Q does pretty much, it works on towers. So I pop my ultimate here. I don't jump on Olaf right away because I see Vladimir very low. I jump on Vladimir. I start going in. I run back to the bushes to try and jump again. The Jinx is cutting away from the bushes, so I can't get there in time. I come in. I KS that just to secure the fact that I don't want Thresh to die. And right here, I jump on the golems. I don't kill them right away. I hold position to let Jinx lifesteal. And this is important because, I could have killed it immediately, but I want Jinx to be healthy so we can come and pillage the rest of the jungle. And I come in here, I do a ton of damage. I don't have any jungle items, but I'm still just tearing through the jungle creeps with just a Tiamat, a Vamp Scepter, and a machete. I come through, you pillage their jungle when you get the opportunity to. It takes away the potential farm they can get from the jungle and lanes if you're just pressuring everything at once. We'd killed 2 bottoms, so we're just getting free reign of everything. I come back top. I see that Wukong is low, but Thresh is up there to help. My red is once again had been left unattended for a long time, but Olaf had been caught up trying to counter gank my ganks and whatnot that he was unable to come counter jungle it. So I come here, I take my red. I've got a ton of gold at this point, but because we just keep getting more and more kills, my Jinx got a kill. Teemo's about to die. I could recall here. I do have a bunch of gold, but when you kill your opponents, that's the signal that you should push lanes, go for objectives. When you get kills, you shouldn't just always look to recall to get stronger. The way you win League of Legends is through objectives, not through getting kills. Getting kills helps you get objectives most of the time. And right there, the shrooms killed the creeps that were closest to the tower. I ended up aggroing the tower, but I take the lane turn to de-aggro the tower, and I get out safely. We see Olaf run up, so I have to not recall there because there could be shrooms giving vision nearby. So I walk through the middle of the lane to safely get out and recall behind my tower. But going back to what I was saying earlier, objectives is the way you win League of Legends. So even though I had a ton of gold and I hadn't recalled in a long time and I was kind of low in HP, because we had killed Teemo, because we had killed Vladimir mid, because we had killed Olaf earlier, they were unorganized, they were dead. You know, when a dead man can't defend a tower. So you need to make sure you push towers, you take objectives whenever you see the opportunity to, whenever you see the window of opportunity, because if you don't take that, then, you know, it can come back to bite you in the butt later in the game. If they have a better scaling team, if you don't take objectives, then you might not be pressuring your advantage hard enough to win the game later. I see dragons up. I wait for my team to get close by, so I do the big wraith first. I can solo dragon at this point, but I just kind of want to have my teammates nearby just in case they try to do something fancy. And but we have good ward coverage now. Thresh is warding around. I can very easily solo this, so that's pretty much what I'm doing. I've got Ravenous Hydra. On my recall, I did buy a Bone Tooth Necklace, Mobility Boots, 2 Longswords, building towards a Brutalizer most likely. And the Mobility Boots, excellent choice for Rengar because your mobility is very limited if you don't have your ultimate or you're near bushes. I jump on Vladimir, instantly kill him again, or rather I get him low enough so that the Jinx kills him. But right here, I actually can't gap close. They're too far away, my ultimate's down, no bushes nearby. So I opt to go get the creep wave. And this is important because if you don't have someone get the creep wave, then it's going to delay you after you kill people to go get the creep wave and then start pushing. And Jinx ends up cleaning up all of those kills. I couldn't help at all with that. But I did get the creep wave, so now we can push the inhibitor. We've killed basically all of them right now. And so now, because I got the creep wave, we're actually able to pressure the tower immediately. Thanks for watching, guys. If you're interested in more of my content, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and follow me on my social medias to keep up to date with my newest videos. If you're interested in taking lessons, go to my website, thevalkrin.com/lessons, and I'll see you guys next time.